I have my Mitsubishi Pajero key fob, so I'm trying to keep it in one piece. I replaced the battery and it starts working, but the plastic is falling apart. It's 20 years old, and I try to identify the type of signals this little device is generating. So for that I have to use my old spectrum analyzer and try to identify the signal. So I'm using for now, it's a tunable antenna, it's a telescopic antenna. I could use something else like this thing, works fine, it doesn't have to be on that specific frequency, but the tunable ones, you can get the maximum signal. So I identify the frequency, and let me go to the frequency menu here, and actually it's too bright for my eyes. Maybe my eyes are not right now for some reason, I don't know. But going back to my spectrum analyzer, so 313.8 megahertz I have here. So I'm going to focus the camera on the screen while I'm going to transmit. So when I press once, I'm getting 2 pulses. It's not like keeping the button on will generate hundreds of pulses. No, it will stop after the 2 pulses. 1, 2, and the way it appears on the screen, it's like 2 little peaks. And let me zoom in by changing the span from 0.4 megahertz. So in case you are not familiar with radio frequency and spectrum analyzing tool, you probably are mechanic. The start frequency and the end frequency on the screen, and the strength, signal strength or amplitude of the signal. So the stronger the signal, the higher it goes, and the frequency limits. So right now my center frequency is 313 megahertz. It's right here, but I want to see more out of that frequency, not wider. So if I want to see, let's say, from 310 megahertz to 320 megahertz, then I would change this limits, that how wide this monitor can measure. So right now I actually want to zoom in. I want to look at more details. So for that I'll change this span parameter to 0.3, let's say 0.2. I will do 0.2 megahertz. So now I can see more detailed. So you see the signals is pretty strong because I used this antenna input, which is very sensitive input of the machine. I can introduce some attenuation, but I can keep the fob away so the signals doesn't go too high up. So if I want to listen to it, okay, so that's the sound I'm getting out of this spectrum analyzer machine. Of course, if I want to use an oscilloscope, if I want to see more details, I would use different machine. This is meant for other type of testing, but I wanted to show you what type of signals you expect out of this type of stuff, out of this little fob. which is broadcasting at 313 megahertz. So generally you get about 315, 316, it's around that 315 in the Japan, the United States, and some other countries. Um, 433 in probably Europe. I don't know. I'm not sure about standards, but yeah. So I kept digging until I found this information on the internet. So I punched in 315. Then I realized that it's broadcasting below 315 megahertz. So that's the information I can provide. This is Mitsubishi Pajero 313.8. Bye bye.